another war, and all these people gonna die. What are we even fighting for? When we striking overseas, you know the bombs will hit our shore. That's when everybody said you shouldn't go to war.
There's propaganda all around me, I can't stand it, let me be. I'm surrounded, suffocated, and I can't breathe. Can't understand, can't make sense of it. Don't wanna fall victim to the state's plan for me. I plan to see a brighter day where there's no big...
Mielke, a good friend and fellow activist. I always kind of think I'm one of those who get it about climate change. But Mielke continuously reminds me how precarious the situation is with the climate, that change are necessary in a hurry, that we cannot wait for others to make these changes. We ourselves have to make those changes right now. We have to do it much faster than anything that happened in history. So come back tomorrow. We will discuss the things so that we know what we are doing, and we will try to involve and coordinate the activity of everybody. But here, please give a hand to Mielke.
Hans is so generous. How many people were here last year? There are many more of us this year, and I'm kind of built up by a post-traumatic Bush euphoria. Is anybody else feeling any of that? A little bit of post-traumatic. So, how many people are going to go to Washington in March? Isn't that neat? Let me just put another plug in. We really need to get a lot of the next generation there. So please buy a ticket for next Saturday night at the library. Buy two, bring some friends. And all the money there, $15 each, goes to getting our younger generation there. I mean, obviously, if our younger generation doesn't do it, we're toast. So if you can't come, tell your friends, get a flyer that's out on the table out there, and make it next Saturday night to hear Tim again. So, what I got from the movie, and I think from the conversation, is that there clearly are not enough of us. Legislative experience. I've been there when we overwhelmed the legislature, like in the Scott McCoy bill, the real McCoy, when we were looking for a real renewable deal, real renewable energy, and we had a giant rally, but still we didn't get any votes, or hardly any in the House or Senate. The bill didn't even get out of committee. So the truth is we need a lot more people involved, but we also need a lot more people informed. So what did the film say to me? Clearly that what we see and what we see about the legislature is that property is more important than people. Like, isn't that true? Doesn't profit mean more than people? The police, as we see it, as nice as Woody Harrelson was, they're really the agents of the hierarchical power structure. And you see that the killer of the trees, or the killers of the trees, and the killer of Jay's brother, have a real ability to pass that violence down the hierarchy and remain unruffled, which is one of the lessons of the movie. Clearly, the media, to me, is in the purchase or in the hands of corporate America. So these are gigantic powers arrayed against us. Question raised: how do we stop a system that will stop at nothing? As TJ said, we won in that particular instance in Seattle, that particular time. But have we made a difference since 1999 in terms of the WTO, in terms of international trade? Have we made a difference even with what Tim spoke about in terms of the amount of climate chaos, or as he said, the climate crisis? Have we made a difference since then, when the information is that if you look at before then or up to 1999, the increase in the crap in the atmosphere, the poisons in the atmosphere, has gone kind of like this. And since then, it's gone like this. So, does everybody know that we're accelerating the amount of poison going into the atmosphere? We've been accelerating it since Kyoto in 92. More than that, we've accelerated it since 99. So that if you look at even what our greatest scientist that understands climate, Jim Hansen, has said in 2007 that the Greenland ice sheet would not exist with the amount of poisons we have in the biosphere. Neither will the Arctic ice. So, what do we do to stop this giant destructive machine? Well, first do we recontextualize what's going on? That is, never more talk about global warming. I mean, how exciting or difficult or interesting does that sound? I really like the way Tim languaged it, and that's climate crisis. I also like the coming climate chaos. What do we do about the thousands of people who come to us, to the legislature, to the internet and say, oh, this is hokey, it's just these incredibly stupid tree huggers who are trying to be communist and save us from being in the dark and the cold and not even able to have warmth? Well, how do we do that? Do we get informed? I mean, is the information clear about the fact that we won't have any future? I mean, the data is very clear. Are we informed in the data? Can we, when we're called communists or rabble-rousers or stupid, let's see, I've been called communist and stupid, can we then stand up and still speak when we're in organizations or meetings where the vast majority of people are not on our side? Can we speak it? Can we speak it truthfully? Can we speak it solidly? Is the situation changed when the truth is, if we have a tiny piece of the information, that there is no future? We're killing the future. Tim said that. We don't have a livable future. Clearly the case. Can we say that? Can we elaborate it? And can we speak that truth to power? These are the questions I'd like to raise. Have we made a difference? And if not, what is it that we need to do? For myself, I would suggest that is to claim the urgency to speak the truth and to stand up and speak that truth to power, regardless of what people think of it, and regardless of what is arrayed against us. So that's my way of looking at it. I ask you to consider that for yourself.